Welcome to Certification Terminal. As part of this series, we will discuss a couple of CompTIA Security Plus certification exam questions and answers. Within user authentication, which elements usually classify as something you are and something you have? Option A, security questions and PIN. Option B, username and password. Option C, smart card and email address. Option D, fingerprint and mobile phone. The correct answer is Option D, fingerprint and mobile phone. In user authentication, elements that usually classify as something you are and something you have are. Something you are typically refers to biometric characteristics unique to an individual, such as fingerprints, retina scans, or facial recognition. Something you have typically refers to physical objects or devices that a user possesses, such as a mobile phone, smart card, or security token. Option D, fingerprint and mobile phone, correctly represents these classifications. Fingerprint. This falls under something you are, as it is a biometric characteristic unique to an individual. Mobile phone. This falls under something you have, as it is a physical device that the user possesses. Option A, security questions and PIN, is incorrect. Security questions and PINs are typically classified as something you know, rather than something you are or something you have. They rely on knowledge-based authentication rather than biometric or possession-based methods. Option B, username and password, is incorrect. Similarly, usernames and passwords are examples of something you know and do not fall under something you are or something you have. They are credentials that rely on memory rather than physical possession or biometric characteristics. Option C, smart card and email address, is incorrect. While a smart card can be classified as something you have, an email address is typically associated with something you know. Email addresses are used for communication and identification, but are not considered possession-based authentication factors. Next question. Amanda is beginning a penetration test against a client and would like to begin with passive reconnaissance. Which one of the following tools may be used for passive reconnaissance? Option A, social engineering tools. Option B, Metasploit. Option C, NSLOOKUP. Option D, Nessus. The correct answer is Option C, NSLOOKUP. Name server lookup, NSLOOKUP, is a command line tool used to query domain name system, DNS, servers to obtain domain name or IP address information. In the context of a penetration test, NSLOOKUP can be employed for passive reconnaissance to gather information about domain names, IP addresses, mail servers, and other DNS-related data without directly interacting with the target network. By querying DNS servers, Amanda can obtain valuable information about the target's network infrastructure, such as domain names, subdomains, and mail server configurations. Option A, social engineering tools, is incorrect. Social engineering tools are not used for passive reconnaissance. Instead, they are employed to manipulate individuals into divulging confidential information or performing actions that compromise security. While social engineering can be a component of a penetration test, it is not considered passive reconnaissance. Option B, Metasploit, is incorrect. Metasploit is a penetration testing framework primarily used for active exploitation rather than passive reconnaissance. It provides tools for identifying and exploiting vulnerabilities in target systems, rather than gathering information passively. Option D, Nessus, is incorrect. Nessus is a vulnerability scanner used for active network scanning and vulnerability assessment. It is not typically used for passive reconnaissance, but rather for actively identifying vulnerabilities and misconfigurations in target systems. Next question. Amanda has designed an authentication system for a critical application where users must enter a password and be physically present in the office to gain access. Which combination of authentication factor and attribute is she utilizing? Option A, something you know and somewhere you are. Option B, something you are and somewhere you are. Option C, someone you know and somewhere you are. Option D, something you know and something you are. The correct answer is Option A, something you know and somewhere you are. Amanda's authentication system requires users to enter a password, something they know, and be physically present in the office, somewhere they are, to gain access. This combination of factors aligns with the principle of multi-factor authentication, which enhances security by requiring users to provide multiple forms of verification. Option B, something you are and somewhere you are, is incorrect. This combination implies the use of biometric authentication, something you are, along with location-based verification, somewhere you are. Amanda's system does not incorporate biometric factors. It only relies on password-based authentication. Option C, someone you know and somewhere you are, is incorrect. This combination involves knowledge-based authentication, someone you know, along with location-based verification, somewhere you are. Amanda's system does not rely on knowledge-based authentication. It only requires users to enter a password. Option D, something you know and something you are, is incorrect. This combination combines password-based authentication, something you know, with biometric authentication, something you are. However, Amanda's system does not incorporate biometric factors. It only relies on password-based authentication and location-based verification. Next question. The security analyst observes multiple blocked attacks by the NIPS without any corresponding entries in the boundary firewall logs, indicating successful prevention. Which resiliency technique was employed to avert this attack? Option A, geographic dispersal. Option B, high availability. Option C, defense in depth. Option D, port mirroring. The correct answer is Option C, defense in depth. Defense in depth is a resiliency technique that involves implementing multiple layers of security controls to protect against various types of threats. In this scenario, the Network Intrusion Prevention System, NIPS, is one layer of defense, while the boundary firewall is another. The fact that attacks are being blocked by the NIPS without any corresponding entries in the boundary firewall logs suggests that the attack was stopped at an earlier layer of defense, indicating the effectiveness of the defense in depth strategy. Option A, geographic dispersal, is incorrect. Geographic dispersal involves spreading critical assets across multiple physical locations to reduce the risk of a single point of failure. However, it does not directly explain why attacks are being blocked by the NIPS without appearing in the boundary firewall logs. Option B, high availability, is incorrect. High availability ensures that systems remain operational and accessible even in the face of disruptions or failures. While high availability is an important aspect of resiliency, it does not directly address the scenario where attacks are blocked by the NIPS without corresponding entries in the boundary firewall logs. Option D, port mirroring, is incorrect. Port mirroring is a technique used for network monitoring and analysis, where traffic from one network port is copied to another port for inspection. While port mirroring can be useful for detecting and analyzing network traffic, it does not directly explain why attacks are being blocked by the NIPS without appearing in the boundary firewall logs. Next question. The Chief Information Security Officer aims to guarantee the validation and integrity verification of zone transfers within the organization. Which solution among the following is the most appropriate? Option A, LDAPs. Option B, DNS-SEC. Option C, DLP. Option D, NGFW. The correct answer is Option B, DNS-SEC. Domain Name System Security Extensions, DNS-SEC, is the most appropriate solution for ensuring the validation and integrity verification of zone transfers within the organization. DNS-SEC adds cryptographic signatures to DNS records, allowing DNS clients to verify the authenticity and integrity of DNS data. This helps prevent DNS spoofing, tampering, and other types of attacks that could compromise the integrity of zone transfers. Option A, Lightweight Directory Access Protocol over Secure Socket Layer, LDAPS, is incorrect. LDAPS is a protocol used for securing LDAP communication. While LDAPS provides encryption and authentication for LDAP traffic, it is not directly related to DNS zone transfers or integrity verification. Option C, Data Loss Prevention, DLP, is incorrect. DLP solutions are designed to prevent the unauthorized disclosure of sensitive data. While important for overall security, DLP does not specifically address the validation and integrity verification of DNS zone transfers. Option D, Next Generation Firewall, NGFW, is incorrect. Next generation firewalls provide advanced threat protection, intrusion prevention, and other security features at the network level. While next generation firewalls can help protect against various types of network-based attacks, they do not specifically address the validation and integrity verification of DNS zone transfers like DNS-SEC does. Next question. In order to protect her SMTP email exchanges from eavesdropping during transmission, what solutions can Stephanie implement? Option A, SPF. Option B, DKIM. Option C, EXIF. Option D, TLS. The correct answer is Option D, TLS. Transport Layer Security, TLS, is the appropriate solution for protecting SMTP email exchanges from eavesdropping during transmission. TLS encrypts the communication channel between email servers, ensuring that the contents of the emails are protected from interception while in transit. This encryption prevents unauthorized parties from eavesdropping on the email exchanges. Option A, Sender Policy Framework, SPF, is incorrect. SPF is an email authentication protocol used to detect and prevent email spoofing. While SPF helps verify the authenticity of the sender's domain, it does not provide encryption for email exchanges and therefore does not protect against eavesdropping. Option B, Domain Keys Identified Mail, DKIM, is incorrect. DKIM is another email authentication protocol that adds a digital signature to outgoing emails, allowing the recipient to verify the email's authenticity. Like SPF, DKIM does not provide encryption for email exchanges and therefore does not protect against eavesdropping. Option C, Exchangeable Image File Format, EXIF, is incorrect. EXIF is a file format used for storing metadata in image files. It is not relevant to protecting email exchanges from eavesdropping during transmission and does not provide encryption for email communications. Next question. You're a security researcher using Google Dorking to gather information. While browsing a website, you encounter an error message. You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual corresponding to your MySQL version for the right syntax to use. This message indicates a problem with the website's database communication. What should the website owner prioritize fixing? Option A, Error handling. Option B, Update website content. Option C, Change website hosting provider. Option D, SSL stripping. The correct answer is Option A, Error handling. The error message indicates an SQL syntax error, suggesting a vulnerability related to how the website handles user input. Proper error handling can help mitigate the impact of such errors and prevent attackers from exploiting them further. By improving error handling, the website owner can enhance the security of the website and prevent potential SQL injection attacks. Option B, Update website content, is incorrect. Updating website content may be necessary for various reasons, such as adding new information or features, but it does not directly address the SQL syntax error encountered. Updating content would not fix the underlying database communication issue indicated by the error message. Option C, Change website, is incorrect. While changing the website entirely might be an extreme solution in some cases, it is not necessary or practical based solely on encountering an SQL syntax error. This option overlooks the specific issue identified by the error message and suggests a drastic measure that may not be warranted. Option D, SSL stripping, is incorrect. SSL stripping refers to a type of attack where an attacker downgrades a connection from HTTPS to HTTP, making it vulnerable to interception. While SSL stripping is a security concern, it is not directly related to the SQL syntax error encountered on the website. Next question. Bob wants to deploy a Cloud Access Security Broker, CASB, for his organization. To ensure compatibility with the most cloud applications, what approach should he prioritize? Option A, Forward Proxy. Option B, Firewall. Option C, Extensive Reporting Functionalities. Option D, API. The correct answer is Option A, Forward Proxy. Bob should prioritize a forward proxy approach when deploying a Cloud Access Security Broker, CASB, to ensure compatibility with the most cloud applications. A forward proxy sits between users and the Internet, intercepting outbound traffic from users and directing it through the CASB for inspection and enforcement of security policies. This approach allows the CASB to provide comprehensive security controls for cloud applications without requiring changes to the applications themselves. By intercepting traffic at the network level, a forward proxy can support a wide range of cloud applications, making it the preferred approach for maximizing compatibility. Option B, firewall, is incorrect. While firewalls are essential for network security, they are not specifically designed for CASB deployments and do not provide the same level of visibility and control over cloud applications as CASBs. Using a firewall alone would not ensure compatibility with the most cloud applications for CASB purposes. Option C, extensive reporting functionalities, is incorrect. While extensive reporting functionalities are important for CASB deployments to provide visibility into cloud usage and security posture, they do not directly address compatibility with cloud applications. Reporting functionalities are a feature of CASB solutions, but do not determine their approach to compatibility with cloud applications. Option D, API, is incorrect. Application Programming Interfaces, APIs, allow different software applications to communicate and interact with each other. While CASBs may use APIs to integrate with specific cloud applications for certain functionalities, relying solely on APIs for CASB deployment would limit compatibility to applications that offer API integration and may not provide comprehensive coverage for all cloud applications. Using APIs alone would not ensure compatibility with the most cloud applications for CASB purposes. Next question. What is a distinguishing security requirement in the EAP Transport Layer Security (EAP-TLS) standard that sets it apart from other EAP methods? Option A, EAP-TLS requires certificates on both the 802.1x server and the client devices. Option B, EAP-TLS only requires a certificate on the client devices, not on the server. Option C, EAP-TLS utilizes a less secure, password-based authentication method. Option D, EAP-TLS does not require any form of encryption for data transmission. The correct answer is Option A, EAP-TLS requires certificates on both the 802.1x server and the client devices. The distinguishing security requirement in the EAP Transport Layer Security (EAP-TLS) standard is that it mandates certificates on both the 802.1x server and the client devices. This ensures mutual authentication between the server and the client, enhancing security by preventing unauthorized access and man-in-the-middle attacks. The use of certificates on both sides verifies the identities of both parties, establishing a secure connection. Option B is incorrect. This statement is incorrect. EAP-TLS requires certificates on both the server and the client for mutual authentication. Without a certificate on the server, there would be no way for the client to verify the server's identity, potentially exposing the connection to security risks. Option C is incorrect. This statement is incorrect. EAP-TLS uses certificate-based authentication, which is considered more secure than password-based authentication methods. Certificates provide stronger security because they are more resistant to attacks, such as password guessing, phishing, and brute force attacks. Option D is incorrect. This statement is incorrect. EAP-TLS provides encryption for data transmission by establishing a secure TLS tunnel between the client and the server. This ensures that data exchange during the authentication process and subsequent communication is encrypted and protected from eavesdropping and tampering. Next question. Which approach to access control determines permissions based on established policies rather than individual user identities? Option A, implicit trust zones. Option B, policy-driven access control. Option C, zero trust. Option D, adaptive identity. The correct answer is Option B, policy-driven access control. Policy-driven access control is the approach to access control that determines permissions based on established policies rather than individual user identities. In this approach, access decisions are made based on predefined rules, policies, or conditions that govern access to resources. These policies can specify various factors such as user roles, attributes, time of access, location, and behavior, allowing for more granular control over access permissions. Option A, implicit trust zones, is incorrect. Implicit trust zones refer to predefined network segments or domains, where all entities are automatically trusted without explicit verification. While this concept is related to access control, it does not specifically focus on determining permissions based on established policies. Option C, zero trust, is incorrect. Zero trust is a security model that assumes no trust by default, requiring strict verification and validation of all entities attempting to access resources. While zero trust principles emphasize the importance of access control, they do not specifically describe an approach that determines permissions based on established policies. Option D, adaptive identity, is incorrect. Adaptive identity refers to an authentication approach that dynamically adjusts security measures based on contextual factors such as user behavior, location, and device attributes. While adaptive authentication plays a role in access control, it does not directly involve determining permissions based on established policies. Next question. Which technology is used to combat malware and phishing attacks propagated through email platforms? Option A, Intrusion Prevention System, IPS. Option B, Email Gateway. Option C, Virtual Private Network, VPN. Option D, Secure Sockets Layer, SSL. The correct answer is Option B, Email Gateway. An email gateway is the technology used to combat malware and phishing attacks propagated through email platforms. It acts as a filter between the internet and the organization's email infrastructure, scanning inbound and outbound emails for malicious content, attachments, or suspicious links. Email gateways employ various techniques such as content filtering, attachment sandboxing, URL filtering, and spam detection to detect and block email-borne threats before they reach the user's mailboxes. By providing advanced threat protection and filtering capabilities, email gateways help organizations prevent malware infections and phishing attacks via email. Option A, Intrusion Prevention System, IPS, is incorrect. IPS is a security system that monitors network traffic for suspicious activity and takes action to block or prevent potential threats. While IPS can provide network-level protection, it is not specifically designed to combat malware and phishing attacks propagated through email platforms. Option C, Virtual Private Network, VPN, is incorrect. VPN is a technology used to establish secure and encrypted connections over a public network, typically to provide remote access to corporate networks or to enhance privacy and security while browsing the internet. While VPNs can enhance security, they are not specifically designed to combat malware and phishing attacks propagated through email platforms. Option D, Secure Sockets Layer, SSL, is incorrect. SSL is a cryptographic protocol used to secure communication over the internet by encrypting data transmitted between a web server and a web browser. While SSL and TLS encryption can protect data privacy and integrity, it is not specifically designed to combat malware and phishing attacks propagated through email platforms. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel if these questions add value to your preparation. We'll meet in the next video. Take care until then.